Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode...
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, we don't have the copyright for the official draft bell sound, but we're up for a fantasy draft, and this time it's overrated goalkeepers in the Premier League right now. Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with a very warm lion. I've got Chris. So this draft's going to be pretty quick, but now we'll probably use some of our honourable mentions to keep it going. What are you looking forward to this weekend? It's going to be warm Saturday and then probably thunderstorms on Sunday, so that's something.
Yeah, standard British weather, that.
Get the barbecue out.
Yeah, for 2 hours before it rains. It's last game of the season. I've got last game of the season tomorrow for my girls, so in the nice, dry, warm weather. So that should be nice. Hopefully end on a positive note, because we haven't had a positive season. So it'd be nice to end on something positive.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for that.
I mean, to be fair, I am baking. I'm baking some red velvet brownies tomorrow. And then after the Chelsea game, watch Eurovision, because even when it's bad, it's kind of good. Bit like us this season. When we're bad, oh, actually, that's not true. When we've been bad, we've been really bad.
I'm going to. I'll tell you a little fact now about me that might shock you. I have never in my whole life watched Eurovision.
Oh no, you can't.
Not even once. I mean this. I have never watched even 5 minutes of it. I've never watched it at all.
That's appalling. I mean, humble brag. I did the video equipment for the edition in Ukraine. Like, this was many years ago. I mean, we're talking like, I think it was 2016, 17 contest was. I think it was 17, I think. Wow. But that's a little humble brag. I mean, no. I was looking at games that were on. You've got the Arsenal Academy versus the Chelsea Academy. And then some reason, Arsenal's under-18s versus Chelsea under-18s as well. Playing, yeah, whatever. Celtic Rangers, that looks fun. It's kind of it. Yeah. It's not other games tomorrow get me excited. There's a lot of Premier League games. Obviously, they've cleared the slate out for Man United Arsenal on Super Sunday. And the playoffs, of course. It's the Championship playoffs, isn't it? So that's always going to be a fucking hype train. I look forward to that.
You know what's funny, though? With the whole Man United Arsenal, for me, is only a big game if Man City drop points. If Man City beat Fulham tomorrow lunchtime, I think it's irrelevant, because Man City will go on and win the league from there. So, I mean, I think Man City are going to win the league anyway, because I just don't see them dropping any more points. Because when was the last time they dropped points in the final 5 games of the season?
I know, that is true. They are a machine when it comes to the end of the season, which is so boring and annoying. But yeah, oh my word, I don't even know they've got to play. But I hope they drop points to some. But then you're cheering on Arsenal. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want anyone to win the league, essentially. If it's not Chelsea, I just don't consider it an achievement. It's not an achievement. And we're not in the top 6 at the moment. So we could finish.
Not yet.
I know, it's looking good. After Crystal Palace, it's looking bloody good. Right, news time. Right, it's that time of the week when we check out the news you may have missed in the Overrated Chelsea news. Thiago Silva has officially confirmed he'll be rejoining Fluminense this summer. Chelsea held their end-of-season awards. Armando Broja will leave Chelsea this summer, apparently. Hakim Ziyech to Galatasaray is now a done deal. Chelsea have been put off a potential deal for Athletic Club's Nico Williams due to his wage demands. Cole Palmer has been nominated for the Premier League Young Player of the Season and Player of the Season. And finally, Diego Costa has reportedly rescued over 100 people on the flooded city of El Dorado do Sol, and the whole state apparently is underwater, and many players from Gremio and International are rescuing people, and the method he and his teammates are that this is great. It's straight up ripping through the town on his fleet of jet skis. I mean, that's just first of all, that's a genuine bunch of legends right there for doing that. I love it. It was just so surreal to read this. It was like, oh wow. I mean, just imagine being in that absolutely horrendous situation. You're stranded, there's flooding everywhere, and suddenly Diego Costa on a jet ski comes to rescue you. It's so surreal. I just love that guy.
That is one of them stories where you could have told that story without mentioning the player's name and then said, what player do you think it is?
Yeah.
And everyone would have said, Diego Costa.
He's a former Chelsea player. Like, is that Costa? His jet skis. I mean, what a bunch of legends for doing it. It's just such
fair play.
When I read that story, it was just so surreal. It so was, but incredible stuff. That. I mean, should we talk about the end of season awards?
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of a rant about the player of the season thing. That can wait.
I will agree with you fully, and I don't even know what you're going to say, but I'm telling you now, it's going to be right.
Well, hopefully. I mean, our end of season awards was for the men's, women's, and academy sides. The winners, we had the PFA Community Champions were Conor Gallagher and Zachira Musovic. We had Katie Cox win the Women's Academy Player of the Year. Alfie Gilchrist won the Men's Academy Player of the Year. The Albright Award went again to Musovic. Women's Player of the Year was Jess Carter. Women's Player of the Year was Lauren James. The Men's Player of the Year and Men's Player of the Year was Cold Palmer. And to be fair, I must say, I didn't have any complaints at all from that list. You know, I felt all deserving winners. And two things I'll touch on actually. Cole obviously joins the likes of Eden Hazard, Thiago Silva, and Willian. Hey, as Chelsea players who have won both.
Esteemed company.
I love how Willian got in there. That must have been, was that the COVID year, maybe? I don't know. Maybe the season prior?
Do you know what? I think that was the Mourinho collapse year.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're the only players to have won both the Players' Player and Player of the Season award in the same season. So it's an outstanding achievement, though, especially in your debut campaign. And I felt a special shout out to both Gallagher and Musovic for their PFA Community Champion Award, because that's given out to a player who has gone above and beyond in their work with the Chelsea Foundation, which to me is it's one of the most important awards of the night, because obviously both of them are doing so much for the local community. And you know what? They've given up their time to help and inspire others. And for me, building them connections in the society, that's two amazing winners. And that cannot be said enough. I mean, outstanding.
Yeah.
Right. How do we feel about the Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season nominees?
Oh my God. I think it's an absolute farce. I have had a massive problem with Young Player of the Year for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
Firstly, 23 is not young.
No.
On what planet is 23 young? In no other form of society are you considered young at 23.
You break out. I mean, oh, wow.
I've always said it shouldn't be Young Player of the Year, because regardless of age, I still think it would be stupid, because even if you lowered it to 21, Erling Haaland's only 21, isn't he?
I don't know. If he is, I am terrified for years to come when he scores 50 every season.
Yeah, so it'd be stupid still. It should be like a breakout star.
He's 24. He's 24 in July. Wow, you're quite, yeah. He's 24 in July, 21st. He was born in the year 2000. Bloody hell!
Jesus, that creeps up on you, doesn't it?
That was out of nowhere.
But yeah, I think it should be breakout star, because I think some of these young players now, if you had someone who was 18 who broke onto the scene now,
yeah,
they essentially then would be winning Young Player of the Year for the next 5 years.
Possible, yeah. It's a fair point.
So it seems a bit stupid. It should be based around how many times you've actually played in that senior football, because some players come in at 20 and it's their debut season and they're absolutely outstanding. But then Phil Foden will win Young Player of the Year, and it's well, no, because Phil Foden's not a young player, is he? He's probably made over 100 Premier League appearances now. He's not young. He might be in age, but he's not in experience. So, I mean, no.
Do you know what's depressing? He could become the only player in Premier League history to win it 3 times.
If that happens,
How about that? I mean, look at that. He's won it. He won it in 2021 and then 2021, 2022. Whoa, he can't.
I'm telling you right now, if that happens, that shows the absolute subpar standard of the Premier League now compared to what it used to be. Because you look at some of the people who got into the first team at like 18, Gerrard at Liverpool,
Yeah.
Rooney at Everton, and then at Man United. And they didn't win it 3 years in a row. And yet Phil Foden will, who is not even comparable to those sort of players. So, it'll just show the Premier League is an absolute myth and a PR machine now, the Premier League, because it's like it's forced down your throat that it's the best league in the world with the best players in the world. Neither of those things are true. Most of the best players in the world don't play in the Premier League. That's why there's so many, Ballon d'Or winners never come from the Premier League.
Yeah,
they always come from somewhere else. And it's not the best league in the world. It's far from the best league in the world. We spout on like the Premier League is the only league where a team in the bottom three can beat a team at the top. Happens every week in every league.
I mean, I think
Except
it's more
maybe
the big
France.
names. There's more big names in the Premier League versus other leagues. I think that's where it comes from, really.
Yeah, more big names because there's more PR. That's why.
I mean, first of all, I'm going to say, where's Rodri? Because he's easily Manchester City's most valuable player and key player, because you take him out and they suffer. We saw that when they lose. Look at when they lose. There was usually a chance Rodri was not playing. And
Now,
maybe people just see him as boring because he tucks his shirt in. It's like, no, we don't want that name on the trophy.
probably is that now. I agree about Rodri. Do you know another shocker for me?
I bet is it a defender?
No.
Oh, go on then.
It might be a bit controversial,
but
I don't see how Conor Gallagher isn't considered.
That's fair.
We are lucky, but do you know what annoys me about these awards? It's like they only base it on the last 4 months of the season and they forget everything. Martin Odegaard, for the first half of the year, was absolutely fucking shit. Around Christmas time, Arsenal fans was calling for him to be dropped. And yet now he's nominated for Player of the Year because he's had a good 4 weeks. It's like, no. Look at players who have been good consistently from August to May. That's what it should be. But it doesn't seem to be that anymore.
I'm just looking. He had 3 goals and 1 assist come the 30th of September. And then he didn't score again till December. So
yes, that's what I mean. Awful.
Whether we're going based off that, I mean,
by his standards, he was poor. For the first half of the season. It happened last year with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford was absolutely fucking atrocious until March, and then he couldn't stop scoring, and everyone went, "Oh, he's got to be a Team of the Year."
And now he's probably going to be sold. He's probably going to be sold now this summer, isn't he?
Do you know what? I hope he does, and I hope he goes abroad so I don't have to hear of him anymore.
I mean, honestly, the list for the Player of the Season is a bit appalling. I mean, to me, you'll like this, because for me, it's clear that certain players have been picked on name power or because it's felt that the club should have an entry, aka Virgil van Dijk. Sorry, gotta say it. I mean, did William Saliba get in? I don't think he did he, for Player of the Season? No. And he's been one of the best defenders in the league. But they picked Van Dijk.
I don't think Saliba or Gabriel was nominated, was there?
No, Saliba is in the Young Player of the Season nominees, which isn't the point, is it?
Both of those defenders have been better than Van Dijk this year.
100%. I mean, the Young Person of the Season award. I mean, the Young Player of the Season award. I'll say one thing. Isaac, great player. Turns 25 in 4 months. Then again, let us never forget, listeners, that our own Raheem Sterling won it in 2019 when he was 24 and he played over 200 Premier League games. So
there's another one in there, isn't there? I can't remember who else is in there, but there isn't the rule that they have to be 23 and under.
Yes, that's the rule.
Right. There's someone on that list, and I can't remember who it is, who turns 24 on the 28th of this month. Who's not 23 then, is he?
Would it be Saka?
I'm not sure. It might. Do you know what? It might even be Phil Foden. You know.
Hang on. I will. Oh, hey, I've got Google in front of me. Phil Foden turns 24 in May. Yes, he does. Oh, bloody hell.
How is he 23 and under then? Because
Well,
by the time the award gets given out, he'll be
yeah.
24.
I mean, the
So,
format does need to
ridiculous.
change, and I'll stand by the opinion that it should be limited to players who are 21 or younger at the start of the season. And if not, then it should be sort of like the Rookie of the Year award in the NFL, because
Yeah,
it has to be a
and
player who's a newcomer to the league or still within an age cap of 21. So I'll be a bit more fair and open. It should be their first season where they play a certain number of games. So like 50%, which is like 19. Then you could
yeah.
say, oh, yeah, this is a young player because it's a rookie. But will it change? Don't know.
Do you know who else should have been on that list for Young Player of the Year? Malo Gusto.
Oh, good gosh, yes, because he's 20. Is he 20 or 21 now?
He's 20. He is actually young. He looks about 34, but he's actually young.
Yeah,
He's actually a young player, first season in the league, arguably been top 3 right backs in the league this year.
agreed. He's 21 in May as well, 19.
So I don't understand how he isn't on that list either. Like,
Yeah,
do you know the worst thing about these awards?
there's many. Go on.
Why does your club have to do well for you to get an individual
Yeah,
award? They're all
yeah.
from top sides. Everyone on that list plays in a side in the top half. What about people down the bottom? You can have an outstanding season in a team that gets relegated.
Mm.
It's an individual award. Why is the team placing got anything to do with it? But they just pick players from the top teams.
I mean, if you're going to pick some players that have missed out, Semenyo, Bournemouth, Branthwaite, he'd probably be considered Everton, and
Young player. Yeah.
Morgan Gibbs-White at Forest, which I still laughed when they paid what they paid Wolves for the player. Well, I'm not laughing now. But what an absolute brilliant deal that was. They probably sell him for 80 million now. You wouldn't be shocked.
Dominic Solanke.
Is he young?
No, not for young player, but
Oh,
player.
right. I meant for young. Yes,
But
Solanke's had a
with the
really
awards.
good season. Ollie Watkins,
I mean,
but I think he's in there as well. Ollie's in
he
there.
is in there, but he won't win it.
No, God, no. It'll be Foden or Haaland. It'll be Foden. Let's be honest.
If Erling Haaland wins this award, I think this should be the last year they do it.
Well, he wins both.
Because I just think, by his standards, he has been poor this year.
Well, he's not lived up to the same as last season, but are we being harsh or not?
No, I don't think so. Because the thing is that you can look at the stats, but I also watch him play with my eyes, and he's been shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so surreal how they pick. Well, I mean, I still think if genuinely, who would I pick as player of the season right now because of the impact and everything? It would be Rodri, because we saw without them, Man City they crumble. But hey,
I would.
Cole Palmer, because he elevated us.
I'd probably go with either Declan Rice,
Oh, good
who
shout! Yeah,
I think has been as good as Rodri, but does a
yeah,
little bit more than Rodri as well.
yeah.
Or I would actually go with Cole Palmer, because I think I don't give a shit where we are in the league. We're talking about him as a player, and as a player, he's been outstanding in over 90% of the games he's played this year.
I guess I think for me, who will I pick genuinely? I would vote for one of Willian, Rodrigo Muniz, or Andreas Pereira, who were flying kites at training this week at Fulham, because I thought it was so lovely. It was like, if you ever wondered, do you think they're going to give Man City a game, or are they on the beach? I think that kind of set it up.
Yeah.
What's training like today, lads? Flying kites. Yeah, no drills, no Ronda drills or whatever. We're just going to fly kites. Yeah, right. Fancy draft time. This one was chosen by you, the listener. You wanted us to draft the most overrated goalkeepers in the Premier League right now. So I was expecting an intense battle for the top pick for this one. But obviously there's two of us, so we might get some more in. I got drawn first, and then it was Berth, then Chris, and obviously Berth's not here. So, and Ollie's currently still underwater. So the rules of the draft are always a snake draft. So it's going to go 1-2-2-1 point. You get the idea. And the goalkeeper must be a Premier League keeper in the current season, which is 23-24. What makes them overrated? Well, that's kind of down to us. I mean, if we believe they're overrated, they're bloody overrated and they can be drafted. Doesn't matter what you lot think. My first pick, with the first pick of the most overrated goalkeepers in the Premier League right now draft, I'm selecting David Raya, goalkeeper for Arsenal Football Club. Because, look here. Look, he's won the Golden Glove. But as you've touched on, Chris, today, I have a pair of eyes. And I see better than I hear. And I look at recent weeks. He's made 3 glaring errors that cost Arsenal. They cost them points. I mean, these mistakes have turned games on their heads. And you start to go, is he reliable in crucial moments? I mean, they're going for the Premier League. You need a goalkeeper to be reliable in high pressure situations. So for me, Raya ain't that. I wouldn't take him. Look at the Gnabry goal in the Champions League first leg. His positioning is dreadful, and it puts Gabriel in a difficult spot. And then his confusion during a cross leads to Bailey's goal for Villa. And then there was a blunder only against Spurs. I mean, an elite keeper does better. And he's not elite, and I think he's overrated.
I agree. I don't even remember watching Arsenal this season and thinking, do you know what, Rayo had a really good game there.
I mean, would you pick him over Petrovic?
No.
That's the point. And he's the most clean sheets in the league. And if we park that, I'll park clean sheets for a moment. He's got an inability to save critical shots. That's not an elite level keeper. And Arsenal, I mean, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I hope they're absolutely awful next season and get relegated, but they cannot gamble on his consistency if they want to win silverware. And they might win the title this year. Great for them. But remember what Sir Alex said, a great goalkeeper is worth 15 points over the course of a season. And when I think back to Chelsea, would we have won titles like we did without Cech? And we put David Raya in. Let's put that. I think the titles would be a lot bloody closer. We wouldn't have had that ridiculous goals conceded record with David Raya in, would we?
We would not.
That's how I take it. But hey, there's no way anyone's going to think that that's controversial. I think it's very accurate, but whatever. Who's your first pick?
First pick is Edison.
Oh, he was my second. Bloody hell! Wow, I'm not shocked he's off the board. Why was he yours?
I think he's the most overrated goalkeeper in the world, let alone in the Premier League. I think Edison is the best goalkeeper in the world with his feet.
Okay, yeah.
However, I think he's one of the worst in the world with his hands. Which is quite crucial for a goalkeeper.
It is important.
Why? Because aside from the occasional good save, like in the Champions League final last season, where he made a good save in the final off a Lukaku header.
Yeah.
If teams attack Man City and hit the target, it goes in. I don't see the guy make saves. Every time a team goes forward against Man City and has a good chance, they score. And no one ever looks at Edison for some reason. I'm pretty sure the last time I saw it, he wasn't even in the top 10 of the Premier League this year for save percentage. That's fucking awful.
I haven't considered. I should have a look at that.
How is that possible? That is shit.
I mean, it's not very good, is it?
Even Onana at Man United has a higher save percentage, and he's even worse.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think Edison gets away with it because of how good he is with his feet. But he's another goalkeeper who is being massively overrated because of the Pep Guardiola effect. It happened with Victor Valdez at Barcelona. Everyone said he was one of the best goalkeepers ever. He wasn't, because if he had a shot, it went in. It's just that no one had any shots because they couldn't get the ball.
I'm trying to look for save percentage here because I think that I feel like that's pretty accurate. I mean, I can't find it on this. There's clean sheet percentage, save percentage. Here we are. So let's have a look at this. Compare leaders. Wow, he's not in the top 10.
Hold up.
Bloody hell, you are spot bloody on. Wow.
Yesterday.
Wow, Andre Onana's second. Wow. That's pretty shit. Robert Sanchez is in the top 10. How is that a thing? Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'd have picked him because he's a perfect fit for City's style of play. And he has, like you said, footwork. Footwork is top notch, but his hands. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad keeper, But compared to like the world-class goalkeepers, his shot stopping is shaky, as you pointed out. His positioning isn't always on point. But I wonder if, because City have got a rock-solid defence, and I wonder if that sort of covers it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is brave. You can say that when he comes off the line, and he is decent at dealing with crosses. But I don't think we should overhype his overall performance, because sometimes spotlight on his distribution skills just sort of blinds us to his other shortcomings as just a goalkeeper. That's why. That's why. That's why he was my second pick if I had a choice. So my actual second pick. Oh, this is a bloody good one, because I don't think if Ollie or Bertha are on, I don't think they pick him. It's James Trafford.
Oh, he was on mine.
Really? Oh, I love you. I mean, the reason I picked him, now at 21, I mean, the dude's got plenty of time to improve. That's not really the point of this draft. The point is overrated. And I've never known a summer where a goalkeeper that was League One level suddenly got hyped into the next coming of David Seaman or Joe Hart as England's next number one goalkeeper. You know, look, I'll give him credit. He was fresh off the back of being named in the PFA Team of the Year for League One with Bolton. And he had an outstanding under-21 championships, winning it with England. He didn't concede a goal throughout the tournament. That is outstanding stuff. But why on earth did that suddenly make Burnley think, that's our Premier League goalkeeper for next season? 15 million, done. He played 28 games before being benched for Muric this season, who was their goalkeeper last season. And I'd say Muric was better. And he has been better. I mean, he's made mistakes too, but look, I'll bring it up. Trafford has made 2 clean sheets and 62 conceded. That's kind of poor. And we all thought, everyone, pundits, us on here, all thought Burnley would survive this season. However, to bring in a goalkeeper who wasn't Premier League proven, damn, he wasn't even Championship level proven. That's poor business in the short term.
It's terrible.
Just 15 million. I think the under Euros, just they just saw it and went, he's gonna just do it now. And I just thought that's so high risk.
Yeah, it is.
Why was he on yours though?
A lot of the similar reasons, to be honest. I just think because he was young and English, and what happened in the summer, I just think people got massively carried away. Like early in the season, there was talk about should he be England's number one? No.
Wow.
No,
I don't remember
he
that.
shouldn't. He shouldn't be anywhere fucking near it. I wouldn't even take him in the squad, let alone put making him number one. Fuck me. But I just think, do you know what? It's not. I don't even think it's his fault. I really don't. I just think it's if you're young and English, there's a good chance you would make a list of overrated players because we love doing that. We absolutely love building a player up to knock them down later on. I just think even at the start of the season when he was playing okay, he still looked a bit. He's not Premier League ready.
No.
That jump was far too much from League One to Premier League, and especially into a Premier League team that was going to be fighting relegation, so was going to be under a lot of pressure in most games. It was a big ask, and I just think for the money that they paid for him, it's a lot of money for someone who hasn't really lived up to anywhere near that price tag.
I mean, if he was, let's say he's a Chelsea player and we sent him on loan to Bolton, he'd come back. We would not go play him as our number one. Even in our situation, we would have probably gone a Premier League or a Championship loan. I mean, it's not the equivalent of, but can you imagine if this summer we know our number one, it's Slanina. We're like, we're screwed. Like he could be a really good goalkeeper, and I'm sure he will be. But right now, he's not ready. Do not throw him into the deep end and go, "That's your man. Go for it." Yeah. Right. Who's your next pick?
I'm gonna go with Vicario from Tottenham.
I considered him. He was actually going to be a consider. He's not. I mean, my other player's not been picked, so
I think he's a good goalkeeper, but we're talking about people being overrated, and
that's
I think people assume that when you say someone's overrated, you're saying that shit. I'm not. I'm saying he's good, but he's not as good as people say. First half of the season, I thought he was really good. Thought he was hands down probably the best goalkeeper in the league. But again, a season is a long time. And
Yeah.
what you do between August and December is great, but we do have 2 international breaks in that as well. I think people forget. So it's actually the shortest part of the season. Since then, I think he's been bang average. I think he's been okay, but he hasn't really pulled up any trees. I don't think he's making as many top saves as he was earlier in the season. I don't think he's helping Tottenham as much as he was earlier in the season. I don't think he's saving them as much. I don't think he's helped by the fact that Tottenham play that suicidal high line. And I do think he is a good, solid goalkeeper. But again, that's all he is. He's just a good, solid goalkeeper. Do you know what? Like, he's the sort of player who 10 years ago would have been compared to the likes of Shay Given. Never, like, you know what I mean? Like, really good, solid goalkeepers, but no one's talking about them getting into a world 11. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, I just think now the bar's been lowered so much in the Premier League that these players now are compared to, like, oh, is he as good as Petr Cech? Is he as good as Peter Schmeichel? Is he as good as Edwin van der Sar? No.
probably
The
not.
answer to all of those questions is no.
No.
To any goalkeeper in the league today, no, they are not as good. That is the only correct answer.
That's
So
fair.
I think, to be honest with you, like, I actually found this really easy because I think it would be harder if we'd done underrated, because I think almost every Premier League player now is overrated.
Oh yeah. I mean, you get the Premier League tax, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, don't
You're
you
gonna
just?
love that. You're gonna love my final pick, who didn't make my top three if we were doing top three, but hey, I get to use him now. Kevin Kelly.
Oh
I
God,
have
yeah.
never known a League Cup goalkeeper get so much praise for playing against second string teams. I mean,
Oh my God.
he's an okay backup, but that's it. He's not a top class game changer. I mean, some fans are claiming he's played right. I've got stats here. He has played 10 games in the Premier League this season. Okay. He has conceded 11. He's kept 2 clean sheets. And those clean
No,
sheets were against Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest. That doesn't impress me much.
no.
And then okay, Europa League. Okay. Well, he took on a decent team in Atalanta, 3-0.
Yeah.
Chris, did he play the second leg?
No.
No, Alisson did.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
How many did Liverpool concede in that second leg? Oh yeah, 0. Point proven.
Yeah, that's it.
Klopp knew he couldn't rely on him for the big game. You know what? I put this in as well, and I'm just going to say it. I put biscuits down that he gets signed by a Premier League team this summer to be their number one. I'm
Yeah.
convinced it'll happen. Will it be a promoted team? Will it be Southampton? Will it be Ipswich? Who is it? Who someone's going to do it? Could see a promoted team going 15 mil, 20 mil. I could see it.
And then they'll be really disappointed when they see him over a sample size, which is more than one game a month.
I'd be like, oh no, we screwed up here. Oh bloody hell! I'm sorry, I don't. I think when Chelsea fans have seen him and he's played all right, but remember, our forwards weren't the most accurate back in them finals. So
No.
I'm not too convinced that that's he's kept Chelsea at bay. Look at Chelsea scoring loads of goals at the moment. We weren't
Also,
when we played him.
every goalkeeper we play against turns into Buffon when we play him. So,
Always. Oh, who
like,
was it? Well, there was always someone. I can't remember who
was
for.
it who was? I think it was last season. We played West Ham at home, and they put some guy in who looked like he was running the burger van outside. Um, it was his first ever game, and he was absolutely unbelievable and got man of the match. And then the week after, he played a goal and made like 3 mistakes that led to goals. And you thought, what is going on here?
Was it when Bournemouth? I think it was Bournemouth goalkeeper against Chelsea. I can't remember who it was. He was like third choice and he kept a clean sheet and he had the best game of his life. I can't remember
That'll
who
be
it
it.
was.
You know what?
That's going to bug
It
me.
happened. It happened earlier in the season as well with Burnley. That Muric in
Oh,
Burnley
yeah.
goal was really good against us at Stamford Bridge. Week after, kicked the ball against Calvert-Lewin into his own goal. And you think, where was you last week?
I'm trying to find when it was. Chelsea Bournemouth 2015-16, was it? Oh, hang on, 5th of December. They won 1-0.
Yeah, Dan Gosling.
Boric was in the goal. No, it wasn't him. I don't know. It was. I remember. I want to say Mark Travers, but I don't think it was him. I remember his dad being on the pitch. Listeners, if you remember, please tweet us because I cannot remember. That's really annoying me. But yeah, there was a player who was like third choice, and he kept a clean sheet, and it was just like, of course, he played like Neuer.
I think that was what the West Ham one I'm talking about.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it was.
His dad was a famous goalkeeper as well.
Wasn't Angus Gunn, was it? No,
No,
wasn't
no.
him.
I want to say David something.
Yeah, it does ring a bell.
West Ham beat us that day, and he kept a clean sheet, and he was really, really good.
You are right. It was David Martin.
That's it, David Martin. No one's ever seen him since.
Yeah, bloody hell! Oh my word, it was David Martin. Oh my! Oh, wait, that was. I'm gonna. Where is he at? Where is he at? Hang on, let's have a peek. David Martin is currently playing for Southend United. And after he left West Ham to join MK Dons, where he made a grand total of 0 appearances. And then he was released at the end of the one season, and he joined Southend United. There you go.
What an absolute joke.
And he played 5 games for West Ham, and his best game was against us. And I remember being now I know who it is. I remember being very cocky that day and thinking, "Oh, we're gonna feast." Oh no, we did not.
We did not.
No, we did not. Yeah. Who's your final pick if you've got one?
Like I said, this is tough because I reckon I could pick any keeper. But I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Dean Henderson.
Yeah, he was always going to be the next big. He still is. He's still the next best thing. We don't know when that is or what it is.
Again, I just think he's another average, solid goalkeeper, but no more, no better, no worse. Like I think he'll do a good job at somewhere like Palace, but I don't think he's ever going to be anything more than that. And you still get him linked to big clubs. Like there's still rumours like if Man United lose patience with Onana, could we get Henderson back? Why? He's no better. I mean, Onana is shit. And to be fair, if we'd done this a couple of months ago, he definitely would have been on my list. But now everyone knows that he's shit, so no one rates him anymore. So I don't think we can call him overrated.
No, I don't. I was tempted, and then I did think no one really rates.
Yeah, even Man United fans anymore aren't even trying to fool us into thinking that he's good.
It's like, no. I mean, the Henderson problem was when he obviously had that great season at Sheffield United, and then he went, "I'm going to stay and fight for my place." Why did you do that? You've got David De Gea in front of you.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
He did play 13 games that season, but you're never going to beat De Gea.
I think it's another thing where I do think with goalkeepers it's a lot easier to look better at a worse team
because you're facing so many shots. Yeah,
it's a bit like that Kaminsky from Luton, which to be fair, he could have made my list as well. Actually, everyone's raving about him, but he faces like 15 shots a game, so of course he's going to make some saves. Like, you know what I mean? The mistake people make is when you go to a top team, like an actual top team, it's all about concentration because you might only have to make one save the whole game, but you have to make that save.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone's going to remember that you didn't. And I think that's the difference when you're playing like for a team down the bottom. You can make a mistake and then you'll make another 15 saves that game, and a few of them will be good, and everyone will go, "Oh, he had a good game, mistake aside." But if you're only facing 2 shots a game and you make a mistake, that's it, you're screwed. That's all what people are going to remember. That's the difference between playing 100%. For a good team and an elite team.
100%. Right, there's our draft. Let us know who you would pick as the number 1 overrated player in the Premier League right now who's a goalkeeper, because it's David Raya. It's David Raya. But if it's not, let us know. Right, it's time for our Lion of the Week. We've got Nottingham Forest on Saturday, so it's the final weekend before the penultimate weekend. before. We've got a game in the week as well, so it's like it's going to be intense for us. But hey, we're in good form, so that's nice. So who's making your pick for this week? As I spin the wheel. Come on, Jackson, please.
This is the first time, it's been difficult because we've got so many people playing well.
Well, I've got Ben Chilwell. He's fit. Is he fit? I didn't check the injury report. I should have really checked.
Who knows with Chilwell?
That worries me.
I'm going to go with. I don't want to pick any of our attackers because I don't want to jinx them. So I'm steering clear there. I'm going to go with.
He's not fit. I best spin again.
Trevor Chalobah.
Lovely shout. He's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he, in the last few games? And we're going to sell him, probably. Come on! Nicolas Jackson! I'm so happy.
And I do think, it's not going to be an easy game because they need points. So I do think we will have we will have to be good defending.
That's not necessarily true, though, because obviously we're the final game of the day. And if, obviously, tomorrow, Luton could be relegated if they fail to beat West Ham.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, because Luton are on 26. So if Luton were to lose, that leaves
Forest
them...
to be safe.
They would have to concede 9 goals in the next 2 games to go down. And they're going to feel a bit more confident, I feel.
Do you know what? I don't know what I'd prefer. Because if Luton lose, it's going to be like a party atmosphere and the pressure's going to be off. I'd rather have Luton win, I think, and Forest need the points.
The only way that Forest would be in danger is if Burnley win against Spurs. That could happen.
That could actually happen. Spurs are shit.
Yeah, that could happen. Fucking hell, I didn't think of that. Ugh. Yeah, that's a worry. We'll see. I've got Nicolas Jackson, so I'm quite happy with that. And that's convenient, actually, because as we head to Quaresma's questions, to answer some of your listener questions, a bit of peace and quiet asked. Great show yesterday. Always enjoy listening to you all on a Tuesday morning on the way to work. So thank you for that, by the way.
Legend.
And he asked, what do you think about Jackson next season? Do we spend big on another striker? Personally, I'd keep with Jackson rather than gamble on another striker, possibly on high wages and a large transfer fee. Jackson has 13 non-penalty goals this season. That's the same as Salah and 2 behind Isaac and Son. I don't think that is a bad return for his first season in the Premier League and his fee. He can only get better by playing in this team. What are your thoughts?
Agree completely. I think Jackson's been class. I think he's been one of the most underrated players of the season. He looks clumsy at times, and he's missed some chances. But there is no doubt that he's got better as the season's gone on. I think he brings so much more to the team than just goals as well. I think the players like playing with him. I think you can see that he's a popular member of the group. I think we'd be stupid to go out and spend big money on another striker in the summer. I think we give, with the expectations, I think are going to be more tepid this summer for what people think we can achieve. Yeah. I think you give Jackson one more season, and I think maybe you move for a good, solid, experienced striker to bring in to sort of rotate in and out with him for him to learn off, a Giroud type, that sort of move
that's what I fully agree.
Giroud. I think that would be better because I think Nicolas Jackson has got the potential to become an £80 million striker.
Wow.
Rather than us having to go and spend on one.
I mean, it is such an awesome question, and it was sent in really early this week, so that's why I had to include it. And look, Nicolas Jackson is proving to be quite a promising striker. And look, as Peas and Quiet just stated, he has 13 goals. They're not penalties. And consider this is what I found out this week. Among foreign players signed by clubs that finished outside the top 6 the previous season, because we did, only 3 have managed to score 15 or more in their debut season. So that's a new signing who scored 15 or more goals in their debut season for a team outside the top 6. Interestingly, All three players hail from the same club. Can you name the club though?
Players who scored 15 goals or more on their
In
debut season when that club finished outside the top six the year before.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I don't know. Is it Aston Villa?
No. If I tell you the club, you'll get it in. You'll know the three players. It was Swansea.
Okay, so they
You-
got Wilfred Bonny,
He was the one on them. Yeah.
Michu.
Yeah. And the final one, maybe a bit, but I feel like we were linked with this guy.
Bafétembi Gomez.
No. He went to Spurs in the end, not us.
From Swansea.
Yeah. I think he went directly from Swansea to them.
No, I don't know.
Fernando Llorente.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot we was linked with him at one point. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
We were really hyped up for him. We were like, yep, we'll have him. And then he went to Spurs, scored
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah. The Bilbao striker, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was solid. He was at Bilbao.
It was, yeah.
Right. You know what? We can't do a carousel, but we can do a Hazard's headliners. So look, I'm going to pick up. I've picked a player. I'm not going to pick one now. And they've been in the news this week, making headlines for one reason or another. And you get 5 clues to guess, and they become gradually easier.
Cool.
So,
Okay, I'm excited for this.
were you not on Friday's show when we did it last week?
Nope.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. I apologise for that. So I'll best read the rules then. Well, you're up against yourself, so it's pride at stake today.
Yes.
As the clues progress, they'll become gradually easier, helping you narrow down the options. And the goal is to obviously guess the player in as few clues as possible and prove you're the expert. So the first clue is this player has played for 3 clubs in his career. Yeah, they got it. They get hard. They get easier, but you know.
Yeah, I was going to say that could be fucking anyone. So
Could be. You don't have to go. Okay. Clue 2. He scored 169 goals and assisted 130 times for his current club.
So he's still playing.
He is still playing for them, yes.
Oh, 169 goals.
169 goals. So, clue 3. He played at the 2018 World Cup after missing out on Euro 2012, 2016, and World Cup 2014 due to injury.
Could be a Chelsea player.
Oh,
Injury. 169 goals. That's a lot of goals.
I've got a feeling on clue 4 you'll probably get it. He was.
No, I haven't got a clue so far.
He was the cover athlete of FIFA 17, and after being voted in by a fans poll.
FIFA 17. Right, hold on. I just need to go back through my my brain catalogue here. Marco Reus.
It was indeed, because the final clue was he plays for Borussia Dortmund, and he's in the news because, as we know, he announced this week that he'd be leaving Dortmund at the end of the season. I don't know where.
Wouldn't
MLS. Chelsea.
Be a fairy tale, wouldn't it, if he won the Champions League?
I'd love him to do it. It'd be incredible. No, Real Madrid are going to...
Absolute fucking no chance.
Real Madrid might have an off game for the first 10 minutes, and then, if they score enough goals in the first 10 minutes, they might have a chance.
Do you know what? Marco Reus, outstanding player. I think probably would have won a Ballon d'Or if he hadn't got injured.
I know. It's such a shame that he got injured so close to the 2014 World Cup as well.
Because look at the career he has had despite the injuries.
Oh, yeah.
He's been class, to be fair.
He's absolutely outstanding. It's devastating that he's obviously he's a Champions League runner up once. He's won a Super Cup with Dortmund twice, and he's won the Pokal twice. But I mean, he's won the Bundesliga Player of the Season 3 times.
Wow! But he's never won the league.
No, he's never won the league with them, because obviously they could have last year. But they did that, and Tuchel went, "Oh, look, I've won the title."
But didn't they win the league under Klopp?
Yeah, but he weren't part of the team. He was at Mönchengladbach.
Was he? Jesus Christ, was it that long ago?
He joined Dortmund in 2012, and I believe that it was 2011, 2012, the German title went to Dortmund. Let me check.
Oh yeah, because then
Yes, that
didn't
was their
didn't
final
Bayern
one.
win like 10 in a row after that?
Yeah, essentially. And then Harry Kane came to ruin the party as he does.
Yeah, and then Harry Kane went there and went, "Well, we don't do that here anymore."
No, no at all. Yeah. I was just looking through that. That year, Bayer Leverkusen had Sami Hyypiä as their manager. There we go. There's a fun fact that you
Jesus.
can use somehow. Right. That's the end of another episode. So thank you, listeners. We'll treat yourself well, and we'll be back on Monday because there's games to review, and we're going to win. We're going to win. I'm confident for this game. I've not felt confident in a long time in a game. It's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
That's what they say.
Yeah. Well, we'll see on Monday. So till then, that's going to be us signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.